Welcome to the Rockabye Revenue Podcast with me, Abby Watson. I'm a mum of 4 and a business strategist, and I train people to become hypnobirthing teachers. In the last decade, I've built a thriving baby business that grew beyond my wildest dreams. This podcast is for you if you run a business or dream of running a business in the birth and baby industry. You want to change lives whilst making more money. I'm talking about creating sustainable income whilst being present for the people that matter most. I believe for our baby businesses to have the impact we desire, we must be rewarded. On this podcast, expect me to share actionable strategies without the jargon. I've been where you are. I've built a business while raising 4 little ones, and now I'm here to help you turn your passion into profit while creating the life you've always dreamed of. So let's get started. Hello, lovely one. Thanks again for listening, or if it's your first time, a big warm welcome. Do have a look at all the other episodes that I have recorded so far. If you are a birth or baby business owner, I am sure you will find lots of our previous episodes equally as helpful. So let me just have a swig of my drink. I'm here for a real quickie today. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. A real short episode today, which is exactly what you need if you are feeling inspirationless, you're feeling like, right, I need to get people knowing about what I offer, encouraging them to book, but I am lacking the inspiration of what to actually say. So today I am going to give you 3 prompts to get on your Instagram stories. So you've got 3 days worth, and these are really super strong, subtle, but definitely selling stories that you can definitely save to your highlights, because they're going to be really useful for anybody who finds your page. Now, if you are someone that doesn't currently use Instagram stories, this is going to get you using them. Or if you are someone that does use your Instagram stories frequently, it's going to encourage you to do something on there that's actually encouraging people to take the plunge and book your services. So let's crack on, because I want to keep this right to the point. So your first prompt, your first day to get onto Instagram stories, your prompt is this, okay? What one thing do you wish people knew about your work? So if you're a hypnobirthing teacher, it would be, what one thing do you wish people knew about your hypnobirthing courses? Okay, if you're a baby massage teacher, you'd slash that and pop in, baby massage classes. Okay, the power of this one, is it's going to allow them to get to know your passion for what you do, plus it's busting myths, it's busting myths, it's overcoming those objections. Now, the first thing I want to say about this is I think we can quite often overcomplicate it. We can think, what can I say for this one? If I say that actually, hypnobirthing is for all births, that's really obvious. My potential client knows that. No, it's not obvious. So what might be obvious to you isn't necessarily obvious to the potential client watching, who might know very, very little about your services. So obvious is fine. And even if they already know it, hearing it again is going to reinforce it. And your lovely, warm, welcoming face will be there on their social media, just allowing them to get to know you a little bit, which is totally win-win. Now, I should have said at the start of this that all 3 of these prompts, I would encourage you to record it, to do it as a talking story. Film yourself, in other words. Now, if you are like, no, I can't do that, I've never done a video, come on, feel the fear and do it anyway. Okay. Now, if you are like, Abby, I really can't, well, okay, if you really can't, really can't, do it with some nice pictures of you and the text over it, okay? I want you to be seen as the face of your business, okay? Ideally video, but if you're chickening out of that, it's got to be pictures of you, okay? Number 2 prompt, so for day 2, okay, what one mistake do you see people make before they come to you? Okay, so if you're a hypnobirthing teacher, when your client, comes to you and finally does a course, what mistake have they already made? Okay, so it might be, let's take the example of hypnobirthing teachers, it might be that, they've been educating themselves by watching every scary birth documentary that they can possibly find on TV, Or maybe it's that they're already 35 weeks pregnant and actually they'd have really benefited from coming 10 weeks ago when they'd have had so much longer to practice and so much longer to benefit from your wonderful techniques. Yeah? Or maybe you're a sleep consultant and you see that when your clients come to you, the big mistake they've often made is asking, every single person in their family for advice, and they've advised them based on their parenting experience and what was the thing to do in the 1970s. So really think about what is the one mistake that you see people do and talk about it. Again, a video from the heart. Now, why is this one powerful? Well, it is positioning you as an expert, okay? Really simply positioning you as an expert, which is going to help them build trust and see you as that wonderful guide for them, okay? Plus, it's really going to help them relate to what you say because no doubt you're gently calling them out a little, So if they're like, oh yeah, that's me too, they're going to be more intrigued and think, okay, I need to know more about this person's services. Yeah? So it's a really powerful one to do. So that's what you're doing for your second one. And for your third and final one, and this is a juicy one, okay, and one that I do not think you can talk about too much ever, okay? So number 3 is, what made you start this work in the first place? So what made you train to be a doula? Or what made you become a hypnobirthing teacher? Or what made you add pregnancy yoga to your services? What's the story behind that? Okay. Why is this such an important one and one that you can't ever talk about too much? Well, because this is what's going to build connection with your audience, and this is going to really highlight your passion and why you get it, And ultimately, it's really going to allow your potential clients to get to know you and build trust. And when they build that trust, they are so much more likely to cross the line to become a client, which is ultimately what you want. Okay, so there you have it, your 3 Instagram stories that I want you to be doing this week. Now, if you're an old timer and you have been in this business for a very long time, you might be hearing those suggestions and thinking, oh, I've definitely talked about stuff like that before. Well, talk about it again. Do not worry about being repetitive. Think about when we're watching TV, or we're watching something on YouTube and ads pop up, They're not always unique ads. Quite often it's the same ad over and over again because it's that repetition that sticks with people. So do not worry about being repetitive in any of your avenues that you use for your marketing. Whether it's Instagram, whether it's your mailing list, whatever it may be, most of us need more repetition. We need to be using repetition more so people clearly understand our message and what we're all about. Okay, so please don't worry about that. And also, if you're an old timer to this, these things are getting you back to basics. The key essentials that your potential client really needs to know. So please don't disregard this because you feel you've talked about these kind of things before. All the reason to do it again, I've created these prompts to be simple on purpose, so it's easy for you to show up, be visible, and really gently but powerfully sell your services. So what I would suggest with all three of these prompts is that if you are using video, which, like I said, highly recommend, I want you to add captions. Dead easy to do. You just press the caption button when you are uploading it to stories. So put captions on it because a lot of people watch Instagram stories with the sound off. So captions mean that they can get the message too. I would also suggest that you manually write a title at the top. So say you're talking, above your head, there might be a really maximum 6-word title, so it might sum up what you're saying, so that again it sparks that curiosity for them to actually listen to what you're saying or read what you are saying. And then finally, at the end, I would really recommend that you have some call to action. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean something that tells them what to do next, okay? So it might be that you have, these kind of talking stories, and then you have a slide after that says, find out more about my course here, and you put a clickable link so that they can read more. Okay. Or it might be something like, click the heart below to be sent more information about my course. And then if they click it, you can have a look who's clicked and then send them the information. So ask them, tell them what you want to do at the end. You might sometimes do this and get nobody taking you up on your call to action. Totally normal. That happens to me all the time too. But getting into the habit of doing it gives you more chance of getting those people reaching out. We want to make it super, super easy for them. Okay. So I want to do a quick little overview because I know many of you listen to this podcast on the move or multitasking. So here's a little rundown. Okay, so you're going to do 3 Instagram stories, separate days, to really encourage your audience to get to know what you offer, and see how blooming good it is. So your first one is, what is the one thing you wish people knew about your work, your service, or whatever your service is? Number 2, so day 2, what one mistake do you see people make before they come to you? So what mistake are they making before they come to you to utilize your service or come to your class or whatever it may be? Number 3, what made you start this work in the first place? So why did you become a doula? Why did you become a hypnobirthing teacher? What was it that made that happen? Okay. And then, like I said, you want to be adding a call to action. You want to simply add captions onto it so people can get the message even if their sound is off. Okay. Now, this is going to get you visible, but it's also going to get you more confident speaking to camera. Top tip with that, if you are, someone who doesn't currently utilize video in your business, you want your phone in front of you, obviously. But behind your phone, you want some form of light, ideally natural light. Okay, so you might have a window shining on your face, and that is going to make you bright rather than make you like shadowy, So that's my number one tip with that. You don't even need a fancy tripod to hold your phone. I started out doing videos with my let me start that again. I started doing videos with my phone in my toddler's shoe. That's what held my phone nice and still. So improvise, use what you have, but really importantly, do it. Do it, do it, do it. You deserve clients and your clients deserve your services. So I really hope this has been super useful and it gets you back in the game, back selling your services and connecting with potential clients. And as always, if you have enjoyed this episode, please do me a favour and rate me 5 stars. It really helps the algorithm reach more and more people. Plus, perhaps you've got someone in your life that you know would benefit from this podcast. Again, if you could do me a favour and send it to them, and perhaps do them a favour too, that would be just incredible. So thanks for listening. Keep on changing lives, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you for listening to Rockabye Revenue. I hope this episode has left you with some fresh ideas and bundles of motivation. If you enjoyed this episode, do make sure you click subscribe so you never miss an installment. And if you found this episode useful, I'd love you forever if you leave a 5-star review, helping this podcast reach the ears of more of the helpers in this world. And remember, keep changing lives. See you next time.